with even more DLC fighters on the way finally confirmed, literally everyone is back on the table. Yes, literally pretty much everyone. Because with the inclusion of characters like Joker, King K. Rool, and most recently Banjo-Kazooie, breaking all previous conceived notions of who could be in Smash, it seems like the sky is the limit. So I'm here with the sequel to my Smash Bros. Prediction video from last year to guess the remaining DLC fighters. It's a little tricky since they didn't announce how many more fighters were going to be added. Popular theory going around right now is another 3 or maybe another 5 of a Fighters Pass 2. So I am here with 20 characters who I feel have the best chance to be filling in these spots. 10 first-party Nintendo characters and 10 third-party characters. It's pretty much a given now that the entire Fighters Pass 1 will be third-party characters, with the 5th one yet to be named, but I feel a second one either will be entirely first-party or a mix of the two. And like I said, these 20 I feel have the best chance for reasons I will explain when I talk about them. So let's get started. And we will be going back and forth between the lists of first-party and third-party. And also keep in mind, this list is not in order of least likely to most likely, or even my most wanted. These are just in kind of the order that I want to talk about them. And lastly, many entries on the list, especially in the third-party list, have many ties or alternate suggestions. I'll explain what they are when I get to them. Oh, and actually last thing, I am working on the basis that spirits don't disqualify a character's chance, but I do feel being an assist trophy does. So sorry, no Isaac, Shadow, Bomberman, or Waluigi sadly, as much as I want them to be in there. Which honestly made the first party Nintendo characters list a little hard to come up with. So let's get started with number 10 of the Nintendo first party. The Chorus Kids. I'm going to talk about these guys first and real quick only because I don't have a lot to say about them since I've never played a Rhythm Heaven game before, but these guys have been speculated and even have found code in the data for past games all the way since Brawl. So clearly Sakurai has had ideas for them to be in the game, so why hasn't he done it yet? From the little I know of them, they would bring something unique as a fighter, and finally bring another 2D character aside from Mr. Game & Watch. So just add them to the game already, Sakurai! Number 10, third party, Geno. What can I say about Geno that hasn't already been said? He's a unique character with a passionate following of fans from a one-off unique game back on the SNES. Like the Chorus Kids, Sakurai has shown great interest in Geno and has wanted him since Brawl as well. Most likely, Square Enix has been the roadblock to getting Geno in Smash, probably wanting a more well-known character like Cloud from Final Fantasy, or the hero from Dragon Quest to promote Square Enix, rather than a one-off character from a one-off game from so long ago. Thankfully, there have been multiple rumblings and coincidences that seem to be pointing in Geno's favor, even for possibly being the 5th Fighters Pass 1 character. One of the biggest being that the Geno Mii costume still hasn't returned. So that's why I'm putting him at the bottom of the list, because at the moment he seems very likely. Number 9, Nintendo First Party, a Legend of Zelda character. Legend of Zelda has always been pretty popular, probably top 3 alongside Mario and Pokemon as the big 3, a Triforce if you will, of Nintendo, but Breath of the Wild seemed to launch Legend of Zelda to new levels of popularity, so much so that they didn't let the hype die by already announcing a direct sequel was now in development. A direct sequel in Legend of Zelda. That hasn't happened since the second game in the series back in the 80s, so yeah, Breath of the Wild is a big deal, and I think Nintendo isn't going to let this popularity die anytime soon. Alongside announcing a direct sequel as early as possible, I think they might also push Sakurai to add another Legend of Zelda character to tide people over until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. A popular choice would be Midna, but like I said earlier, I am disqualifying assist trophies, so I think a lot of people's next choice would be Impa, a fan favorite of the series that has yet to have any kind of representation in Smash. A lot of people have suggested she could be an Echo Fighter of Sheik, which is possible, or maybe even a semi-clone like Isabelle is. But let me throw another idea at you. To keep on the Breath of the Wild train, they add one of the champions from Breath of the Wild as DLC. Honestly, any one of them could work since they are all so unique. My personal choice would be Rivali, but something tells me with his resemblance to Falco might disqualify him somehow. So my next best choice would be Daruk, so we can have another heavyweight character on the roster. It just seems like something Nintendo would push, and I think the Legend of Zelda fans would be more than okay with it. Unless, of course, they wanted a different champion to be playable. Number 9, third party, Ryu Hayabusa. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this character since I know very little of him and Ninja Gaiden as a whole, but his name has been thrown around for Smash for some time now, but as of the past couple months he has been talked about a lot, even rumored to be DLC number 5 for the Fighter Pass number 1. And when you really think about the character and the series he is from, it makes sense. Smash is about celebrating gaming as a whole, and the Ninja Gaiden series is very popular and has been around a long time on various Nintendo consoles. It even has some recognition of being among one of the hardest game series, with Ninja Gaiden 2 on the NES being considered one of the single hardest games in existence. So those accolades alone should probably deserve Ryu Hayabusa to be in Smash. My only qualm with against them is please no more Sword Fighter Sakurai. Number 8, Nintendo First Party, Wonder Red. This should be the last character I have little to say about. I didn't play the wonderful 1-1, and I don't think too many people did. The whole Wii U era was kind of awkward in terms of game sales, especially for new IPs, but the Wonderful 101 is a standout from that awkward phase as it's probably only new breakout star, so much so that fans have been clamoring for a re-release on Switch to expose it to more people, and it seems the makers of the game are currently working on it at the moment. So adding the main character of Wonder Red alongside the eventual re-release on Switch, and possible announcement of a sequel since that may or may not also be in development makes a lot of sense. He could be the only viable character to represent the Wii U era of Nintendo. Number 8, Third Party, Lloyd Irving. Oh wait, there was one more character I'm not too familiar with. Okay, let's just keep this short and simple. The two biggest things that Lloyd has going for him is the fact the Tales series in Japan is pretty big, alongside many other JRPGs that have been represented in Smash. So Sakurai continuing this pattern going from Fire Emblem to Persona to Dragon Quest to Tales makes sense. Another big thing is the fact that Lloyd got a Mii costume during the times of Smash for Wii U and 3DS that has yet to resurface, much like the evidence towards Geno. So that clearly means the developers of the Tales series wants to be working with Sakurai and Smash Brothers since we got that costume. So what's been holding Lloyd's inclusion? Maybe Sakurai has finally heard the cries of fans about anime swordsmen, or what I have heard is the fact that Lloyd, while the most recognizable character from the Tales series to a wider audience, isn't exactly the most popular amongst like actual Tales fans. It's hard to say if Sakurai would want to go with someone recognizable, or maybe go with someone smaller but more popular with actual fans of the series, or maybe pull a Fire Emblem and use a character from an upcoming game. Number 7, First Party, Dixie Kong. Dixie Kong just feels missing, like she should have been there a long time ago, and once upon a time she was. Back in Brawl, when they introduced Diddy Kong, she was originally planned to be a duo character alongside Dixie, like how they worked in Diddy's Kong Quest, much how like the Ice Climbers work now. But this was scrapped for unknown reasons, and much like the Mario series feels incomplete without Waluigi as playable, the DK series just feels incomplete without Dixie, especially now that you got K. Rool in there. There's been a lot of debate whether she should be an echo of Diddy or a whole new character, but given how they function so closely, it's probably the best route to go a semi-clone like Villager and Isabelle, with some similar moves like Diddy, like the monkey flip and the peanut pop gun, but give her some new moves like flying with her ponytail, and some various new combo strings with normals. The big question now though regarding characters like Dixie and Impa, if they were to do them, would Sakurai feel comfortable charging fans as DLC to pay for Echo Fighters or semi-clones? We haven't gotten any of them since the initial game launched, or even in Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, and since then all DLC characters including the free Piranha Plant have been brand new characters. If anything, I could see Sakurai give Echo Fighters away as a free download alongside a brand new character. That just seems like something Sakurai would do. Number 7, Third Party, Shantae. Outside of Shovel Knight and Sans, Shantae has probably been the face of the indie game scene that has been the most requested for Smash. So much so that she even got her own spirit in the game as some form of representation. Makes sense though, since the Shantae games have spanned 5 games on Nintendo consoles since the original on the Game Boy Color. Honestly, do we have any other Game Boy rep outside of Pokemon? And the developers of Shantae haven't been shy about wanting Shantae in Smash, even going as far as making a petition for their fans to show Sakurai and his team how much they want Shantae in. I'm honestly very curious of what has been holding Sakurai back. My only speculation would be that the Shantae franchise hasn't really been that big, and the demand for Shantae only started around the time for Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS, and Sakurai since then has only been going after big names. But now that he's gotten almost every big name in gaming in Smash already, maybe it's time he starts looking at some smaller names again, and we'll find that in Shantae. Number 6, First Party, a new Pokemon. So Smash Bros. Fans have gotten this idea in their head that we need a grass-type starter Pokemon as a new fighter, to complete the trio of Pokemon of having one fire starter, one water starter, and then one grass starter. I mean, it makes sense since those are the choices you make in Pokemon, so that should be represented in Smash. But this is a completely fan-made idea. Who knows if Sakurai has even come to this conclusion or heard of it? I mean, it's possible he has at least heard of it because his team keeps their eyes and ears on this community very closely, and that's how we got the Sans Mii costume. But I do think a new Pokemon is likely, especially with Sword and Shield being the first mainline Pokemon games to be coming to the main console of the Switch instead of the handheld. With the grass-type starter in people's minds, they have latched onto the idea of Sceptile, which makes sense. Out of all the grass starters, he makes the most sense as a fighter. Hell, he was even in Pokken. I mean, there is also Decidueye, who everyone thought was going to get an ultimate instead of Incineroar, but it's clear Sakurai doesn't double dip in generations outside of Gen 1, and we don't have a Gen 3 or Gen 5 Pokemon, so Sceptile fits the bill perfectly. It all comes down to if Sakurai sees this idea as well, but with Sword and Shield on the horizon, it's also perfectly logical to add a Pokemon from there. We haven't seen the final evolution of Grookey yet, but given his first form and many fan idea drawings, he may just well be a viable candidate for a fighter, with ideas that he could be a gorilla with drums or a monkey warrior a la Sun Wukong with a staff. Either way, a grass ape with a weapon would work for Smash. So as much as I would like to see my boy Sceptile or Decidueye go from Pokken to Smash, Grookey's final evolution just makes the most sense from a marketing standpoint to ride the Pokemon hype train. And the only reason I'm considering a starter is because ever since Lucario, there hasn't been a fan-favorite Pokemon that wasn't a starter that could also work as a fighter. They attempted that Lucario idea again with Zoroark during Generation 5, so much so that everyone thought he was going to replace Lucario in Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, but that never came to fruition, as Lucario is still a popular Pokemon to this day. And there hasn't been another one like him getting the spotlight from fans or even the Pokemon Company, so that's why I'm sticking with it's probably going to be another starter. Number 6, third party, another M-rated character. We all thought for the longest time that we would never get an M-rated character or a character with a gun in Smash, but then Bayonetta came along and blew both those theories out of the water, and then Joker came and beat that idea into the ground even more by being a third party not ever appearing on a Nintendo console before with a gun, just for good measure. So really, like I said at the beginning, anyone is on the table. I had a couple ideas and so has the community for the next M-rated character, so I kind of just compiled them into this one slot, those being Dante from Devil May Cry, a Resident Evil character like Chris Redfield or Jill Valentine, or the Doomslayer from Doom. If I had to put these guys in order from least likely to most likely, it would be Dante at the bottom, Resident Evil in the middle, and Doomslayer at the top. Why? While the Devil May Cry series may now be appearing on Nintendo Switch, they are trickling him on there. The first was ported, and it was just announced that Devil May Cry 2 is coming later, instead of just adding the whole HD collection like other consoles did. They are just adding one at a time, and the Switch didn't even get the latest Devil May Cry 5 when it released. At least, not yet. So Nintendo seems to be interested in Devil May Cry, but not that much, while Resident Evil on the other hand has been getting a lot more love, with massive dumps of various Resident Evil games launching pretty frequently, and almost having every game in the series on the console now. They even went out of their way in the last E3 to have a special made live-action trailer to announce more Resident Evil games coming to the Switch. That seems like a full embrace of the series to me. But so far the biggest is the Doomslayer from the Doom series. Not only with the latest Doom game from 2016 being one of the first big third-party ports that came to the Switch, it's also getting its sequel Doom Eternal the same day as other consoles and has ported past Doom's games as well, with Doom 64 being the most recent. That's more than you can say for Devil May Cry or Resident Evil. And on top of this, Bethesda themselves have said they would be totally down for one of their characters in Smash, and out of all their properties, Doom makes the most sense, than adding like a Vault Dweller in a power suit from Fallout or a Dovahkiin from Skyrim or BJ Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein. Not to mention Doom is seen as the grandfather of the FPS genre, and being an industry-changing icon seems to be up Sakurai's alley for characters he's wanting. Number 5, first party, Chibi Robo and Ray 01. I honestly couldn't pick between these two to put on the list. They don't really share a theme like the previous entry. Oh wait, they are Mii costumes. Mii costumes who deserve to be upgraded to actual characters. And no, Mii costumes don't disqualify a character, as Isabelle and Chrom have costumes and they are playable characters. But I just feel both of these franchises deserve to be represented more than they are. Chibi Robo has led a successful line of small games across various Nintendo platforms. His small form doesn't matter much, because Olimar was small in lore already, and they brought him up to size for Smash, so who's to say they can't do the same for Chibi Robo? Plus, his plug could make for some very interesting moveset potential. And Custom Robo has been many times regarded as one of the best games on the GameCube, and the series has long been forgotten since, which is a real shame as I feel it's had great potential. Maybe if Sakurai could bring it back into the spotlight to today's gamers with DLC, Nintendo could see potential in reviving the series. I would say Sakurai could do it himself, but it seems like he's going to be busy for a while in the near future. Number 5, third party, a Ubisoft character. It's about time Ubisoft got a character in Smash. They have had many successes with ports and original games on the Switch and other Nintendo consoles. It's honestly kind of surprising we don't have a Ubisoft character yet. And of course when people think Ubisoft, they think Assassin's Creed. But I doubt they would go for that when the demand for Rayman is so high. I mean, Rayman does have a trophy and is a spirit already in the game. Rayman even had an exclusive deal with Rayman Legends on the Wii U being an exclusive before going multi-platform. So what's holding up Rayman? I have an idea. The Rabbids. The Rabbids have definitely become the new mascot of Ubisoft, sharing a lot of energy of the minions. But the recent early hit Switch game of Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle honestly makes me think we are going to get a Rabbid. And not just any random Rabbid, but the Rabbids from Kingdom Battle, that are dressed like the various Mario characters that come equipped with blasters from that game. It would definitely make them more unique than just a regular old Rabbid. If Kingdom Battle didn't exist, then I would say Rayman all the way. Still had a very good chance, but due to the positive praise of Kingdom Battle and the fact a sequel is in the works, possibly due to some rumors, makes me believe that they have become much more possible. They could even get the hero treatment of each Rabbid from Kingdom Battle be a skin with Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Yoshi. Though I don't know how they would handle their weapons since each one for each Rabbid acts differently in game, but that would be totally up to Sakurai. Number 4, first party, Byleth. You know, during the lead up to the release of Smash Ultimate, it was pretty much a joke that we'd be getting a Fire Emblem Three Houses rep. In the same vein, we got Robin and Corrin, a Fire Emblem character shoved into our Smash to promote an upcoming game. But Ultimate came out, and even the Fighter's Pass came out, and a Fire Emblem character was nowhere to be found. Most of us probably breathed a sigh of relief. But then Fire Emblem Three Houses actually released, and took the Switch community by storm, becoming a must-play on the platform. So much so now that people are actually demanding a Three Houses rep to join. Poor Sakurai must be so confused. So much demand for no new Fire Emblem characters, and now there suddenly is a demand for one. The obvious choice would be your silent protagonist Byleth, that you play as through the game, though they have done that already with Robin and Corrin. So many fans have come up with adding instead one of the main characters from the Three Houses themselves, like Edelgard, Dimitri, or Claude. The only reason I don't see them doing that is because that would be favoriting a certain path and story in the Three Houses game, which is a big part of the game is making your choice of which house to join. So favoring one instead of the other too might not sit well with some fans, so going with the neutral protagonist like Byleth is probably the best option. Number 4, third party, Crash and Spyro. Well, you knew these two were coming, some of the biggest names in classic 90s gaming, Crash and Spyro. And well, they are here on the same spot because they are here for the same reason, being big names in the platforming area during the life cycle of the PS1, and both getting remakes that are now available on the Switch. Like Sonic, Mega Man, Pac-Man, and others, Crash and Spyro are seen more as rivals to Mario and Nintendo themselves, so why not have them battle it out in Smash? But if we're being honest, if we're lucky, I think we're only getting one of these characters, and not both. As much as I would like both, I just don't see it happening. And if I were to pick one, I think Crash has the better chance. Biggest reasoning being the old rivalry during the N64 days with those classic Crash taunting Mario commercials, but also the fact that Crash is bipedal. Spyro can't exactly execute combos while being on all fours. Duck Hunt can do it because the duck himself is doing all the work. But trust me, I wish to be wrong. Sakurai, just let your creativity flow with Spyro. I actually prefer Spyro in his games more than Crash, but hell, please just give me both of them. Number 3, first party, Captain Toad. Toad breaking away from Peach's moveset and becoming his own character has always been kind of a joke, with Toad not having much moveset potential. But the invention of Captain Toad from Super Mario Galaxy changed all that. Toad is now a breakout star with his new outfit, even getting his own game that got ported not once, but twice, featuring a bunch of new mechanics and abilities that would become very unique if you were brought to Smash, such as wielding a pickaxe, plucking and throwing, collecting diamonds, but probably the most unique bit that according to lore, Captain Toad cannot jump due to his backpack being too heavy. While many savvy YouTubers have created videos demonstrating how Sakurai could work around this bit of lore to make Captain Toad be able to jump around the stages of Smash. My personal favorite being him hopping in his mine car like he does in his game for certain levels, and the mine car itself bouncing upward. somewhat similar to how Bowser Jr.'s side special works, but more vertically inclined. You could even make Captain Toadette an alternate skin just to add a little something extra with the character. Number 3, third party, another fighting game character. With the inclusion of Ryu and Kent and now the introduction of Terry Bogard to Smash, it seems Sakurai wants to make the biggest crossover fighting game by also crossing over other fighting games into the mix. So it's entirely possible he may just go after more. So who could that be? The most obvious would be a Tekken character now that we got Street Fighter and Fatal Fury. Heihachi being the face of Tekken makes the most sense. He was even included in PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale due to his popularity. Staying in the 3D fighter, he could possibly pick a Soul Calibur character like Siegfried or his evil incarnation Nightmare. But personally, I'd want Nightmare because I like his design more and I would want more villains. Or sticking with 2D fighters, going with the ever-popular Mortal Kombat with Scorpion or Sub-Zero. And honestly, Mortal Kombat seems the most likely just on the basis of the latest entry of the series of Mortal Kombat 11 came to the Switch on the same day the other console versions did. We haven't gotten a Tekken or Soul Calibur game on a Nintendo console in years. The biggest hurdle though is that Mortal Kombat is not that big in Japan from what I know, which gives that a slight edge to Tekken, especially since we got Tekken skins in Smash for Wii U that we haven't gotten back yet. But going back to Mortal Kombat, I would personally want Sub-Zero over Scorpion. We don't really have that many ice users and plenty of fire users. So many fire users. And the whole Scorpion being undead with a skeleton face breathing fire and skewering people with his sphere might be a bit too much for Smash. But Sub-Zero creating ice weapons to smash opponents with fits a lot better. So it's hard to say which one is more likely, either Tekken or Mortal Kombat. I guess it comes down to which fanbase yells the loudest at Sakurai. Please do not actually yell at Sakurai for characters on Twitter. Number 2, first party, Bandana Waddle Dee. He is more than just a Waddle Dee who put on a bandana and picked up a spear. Ever since 2010's Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Bandana Waddle Dee has been the official 4th playable member of the Kirby squad, making an appearance in every game since then. He even was the only other playable character besides Kirby in Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, as well as alongside King Dedede and Meta Knight as the first round of Dream Friends in the latest game of Kirby Star Allies. To say Bandana Waddle Dee isn't an important character to the franchise now is just being ignorant. And hell, he isn't even that new of a character. Return to Dreamland was just his big breakout role. Bandana Waddle Dee has been around since Kirby Superstar on the SNES. For those who don't know, the director of Smash Sakurai is also the creator of Kirby, and I thought we wouldn't get Bandana Waddle Dee because he was a newer Kirby character that Sakurai didn't help create. But I was wrong. He was introduced in a Kirby game when Sakurai was still involved, that being Kirby Superstar. So I honestly don't know why he hasn't been added to Smash. Maybe it's seen as favoritism on Sakurai's end since he created the series? But you could also argue that with Dark Pit as well, since he created that character as well for Kid Icarus Uprising. And Bandana Waddle Dee pretty much has a moveset ready to go from Return to Dreamland. It's honestly a mystery why we don't have Bandana Waddle Dee yet, and hopefully Sakurai gets over his fear of showing favoritism and add him already. Number 2, third party, another Microsoft character. I have absolutely nothing to back this with, but I am pretty sure Banjo-Kazooie is the best-selling, most downloaded DLC fighter for Smash Ultimate for people who didn't buy the Fighter's Pass. Combine that with Nintendo and Microsoft leading the charge with crossplay, I can see this partnership continuing with another Microsoft character being added to the roster later. But who would it be? Before Banjo was confirmed, everyone thought it would be Steve from Minecraft, which makes sense with how big Minecraft is bringing in that audience to Smash. I see Steve as still a strong possibility. Sakurai himself has even expressed interest in Minecraft and considers himself a fan of it, as well as Japan as a whole has a fascination with Minecraft, having Let's Plays of it as a TV show. Some other strong contenders could be Cuphead. His 2D animated cartoony design fits perfectly into Smash, and Cuphead has recently come to the Switch as part of the ongoing partnership with Microsoft. You can even get an alt costume or Echo Fighter out of Bugman. And then there's the obvious face of Microsoft being Master Chief. Halo is a cornerstone of the FPS genre. If we don't get Doomslayer, I may consider Master Chief's chances to go up as he is also the face of the genre. With rumors of the Master Chief Collection coming to Switch, it would be great cross-promotion. And those have been the most talked about Microsoft characters, but I came up with one more that may be worth talking about. A Killer Instinct character. Hear me out. Not only is Killer Instinct a Microsoft property that has a small cult following with its Xbox One launch title, it's also a fighting game character that Sakurai also seems to be going after. And the original Killer Instincts were hugely popular games that were ported to the SNES and N64, and also made by Rare like Banjo-Kazooie. So going with that, Killer Instinct has 2 possible character inclusions that I could see happening. the default standard Ryu-like character of the game Jago, and the mascot of the series, the Terminator Predator Machine hybrid called Fulgore. My pick would obviously go to Fulgore because it's a villain and it's just an all-around more interesting looking character than Jago. If any of the Killer Instinct games, including the 2013 reboot, comes to Switch, I see Killer Instinct having a very likely chance of being added to Smash over Steve, Master Chief, or Cuphead. Number 1, First Party, Rex. Anyone who follows Smash information probably knows why Rex is the number 1 most likely character to be added to Smash as future DLC. Sakurai said upfront in a direct that he wanted to add Rex to the game, but the timing of Xenoblade Chronicle 2's release and the development deadline of Smash Ultimate for working on new characters did not work out in Sakurai's favor and was too late. So he had the Mii Sword Fighter costume made because he wanted at least some kind of Xenoblade Chronicle 2's representation in Smash Ultimate. And for those who don't know, the 5 characters of the Fighters Pass were chosen by Nintendo and not directly himself. Nintendo gave Sakurai a list of approved characters that they had deals with other companies to get their characters in Smash, and then Sakurai chose the 5 from that list. Now it's clear that that list was all third-party characters, so Rex was just not possible. And if that wasn't the case, Sakurai probably would have made Rex one of the first DLC characters he would have worked on. So if in the new DLC, if Nintendo isn't as controlling in wanting all third-party characters, Rex has a really high chance of becoming an upcoming character. Number 1, Third Party, Sora. I mean, you probably saw it coming. Sora has become one of the most requested characters now that we got characters like K. Rool, Ridley, and Banjo out of the way on various polls across all regions. Besides the few spin-offs that the main series had on handheld consoles, Sora doesn't really have that big of a Nintendo presence. But that doesn't matter. Joker and Cloud prove that doesn't matter. So all of us Kingdom Hearts fans want Sora added to the game. I know a lot of us said no more anime sword fighters, but I'm sure a lot of us would make the exception for Sora. But the weirdest thing about trying to get Sora into the game is the he said, she said regarding who was blocking it from happening. Some reports are saying Square Enix is fine with adding Sora, and that Disney is being the troublemaker, and then some other reports are saying Disney is fine with it, but Square Enix are being the difficult ones. Might also explain why the Kingdom Hearts games still haven't been ported to the Switch. Something legal that they aren't telling us is blocking us from getting our boy Sora in Smash. Maybe we have to compromise and allow Mickey Mouse in Smash too. I mean, hey, Epic Mickey was a Wii exclusive. And there you have it. 20 characters, 10 Nintendo first party, and 10 third party that seem very likely to be getting into Smash Brothers. It's kind of funny the number 1 Nintendo character is super likely and the number 1 third party character is so far really unlikely. I just really want to add him. He's my number 1. So, what do you guys think? Who do you think is most likely? Who do you think is least likely? And everything in between. Did I miss anyone? Or are there any more reasonings a character could outweigh another one? Tell me what you guys think in the comments below, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.